There's a good guy. All right, well, welcome back here today at Animal Training Development Center. We have Marlo with us, and Marlo is a Great Dane, as you can see, and he's a great Dane indeed. Love the color. He's just been a fun dog to have around. As you can see, he plays well with other dogs. He is doing well with us. He's got a bit of a let's say a lot of a stubborn streak, but we're working through that. And today I want to show you where we're at. So today is his fifth daycare training day with us, so he's about halfway through his package when it comes to the daycare training portion. I know we've already done one private session and you have 3 more coming. So I thought I'd give you guys this video and then allow you to do some more homework, and then we'll have him back for another daycare day and then probably another private session after that. So we're going to tag team this big guy and get him under control and get him to be a super, super wonderful dog. So the first thing that we do, as always, is just work over this basic idea that we call it the unspoken command. A dog should never get to the end of the leash at any time for any reason. So if I give him the release word here and it's okay, he can get up, but he shouldn't reach the end of the leash. And so you can decide how much leash he gets. Right now, we've got him on a 6-foot leash, but let's say that I decide to hold, half of that in my hand. He should still keep slack in that length of leash now. And one of the tips I have for you guys is to work around your own house with this in mind, so that you can practice the techniques and he can practice the reaction that he's supposed to do for the technique. And really the only technique that we have to do is keep in mind that his job is to keep slack in the leash at all times. Our job is to make sure he's doing his job, and so that simply means that right before he reaches the end of the leash at any time for any reason, we're going to proactively tug right before he gets to the end in the opposite direction that he's going. So if he's going right, we're tugging left. If he's going left, we're tugging right. If he's going ahead of us, we're tugging behind, and if he's behind us, we're tugging forward. And so as I wander around the room here, good, you can see that he's kind of already got the message of what this is all about and complying really pretty nicely. So that stubborn streak has not showed itself yet, and that's a fine thing by me. You also see in the video that I'll splice together some of our outdoor time as well, and the same rule applied. So you'll see that we took a nice walk today, and I showed you part of that on video of us just walking along the sidewalk with that in mind. And you'll see that he was way out ahead of me. When I say way out, probably that far ahead of me, about 5 feet, but he wasn't 6 feet. So the leash reaches 6 feet. He was hanging out there in front of me for 5 feet. And to me, that's fine. A dog doesn't have to always be behind me for me to be the leader. He can be ahead of me and at least aware of me, and that still makes me the leader in his mind. So I don't mind if a dog's out in front. They just should never get to the end of the leash at any time for any reason. The next thing that we worked on is the simple idea of the command sit. So let's go ahead, Marlo, sit. And there he got a little distracted by noise. No, sit. So I just gave a little tug up and behind his head with the leash. So I'm just pulling the leash up and slightly behind his head, and that kind of gives him the idea he's supposed to sit down. He's working on a big buckle collar right now, which is really a testament to his willingness to want to work. I know that he could pull a truck with this collar if he wanted to. So he's symbolically getting corrections right now, but physically they're not adding up to much. And that's because we've also been allowing technology to help us with his training. Physically, as you can imagine, a dog like Marlo is super strong. And if you put together that super strong body with that stubborn streak that he has, it can turn into a real difficult dog to train with. And so instead of fighting that super strong body and trying to overcome that super stubborn streak that he has all at one time, we've been kind of pecking away with it. And as we peck away with it, down. Oh, good boy. Good dog. I'm going to stop right there because on our first private lesson, we were talking about one of the big stubborn streaks that he has is this idea about laying down when told. And there's a reason for that. Symbolically, the down is a gesture that wolves make for other wolves to kind of salute them and show respect The dog that lays down in front of another dog is a dog that's kind of saluting the dog that they're laying down in front of and recognizing that that dog is higher than them in the pecking order and giving them kind of those kudos and respect that goes with that title. A dog that's dominant, kind of like Marlo is, they're very reluctant to salute another dog or even another person. They think that they're large and in charge. And in his case, it's tough to argue, right? Because he is large. And we're trying to become in charge. So what we were saying in our private lesson is if we can catch him as he's laying down and just throw that word at him as he's doing it, we can start to activate that word in his mind and the gesture that goes along with it. And that's going to help us in our progress moving forward to try to force or help even Marlo lay down, even using treats and things like that. He just wasn't really looking to do that. But he's been working hard today, and we've been on a lot of walks, and he's had a lot of playtime. So right there, he was just getting kind of tired and start to lay down on his own. And I threw out that word. We call this imprinting. So I'm imprinting that word in his mind as he does the action. And then you saw me give that verbal reward as he finally touched ground there. So we'll see if he does that again for us. My suggestion to you is every time you catch him doing that, and you're ready for it, just go ahead and throw that word out as he's doing it and praise him as he finishes that action. And that'll help us. I know that later this won't be a big deal, but right now we're struggling trying to get him to do this down position for us. While he's down there, good boy, we're going to show you that heel position. And he's in what we call the heel position right now. So heel is just that. It's a position in relationship to our body. And Marlo is in a great position of healing right now. He's at my right side where I can literally reach down and touch him if I need to, but not so close that he's crowding me. He's parallel with me, so his paws and my feet are facing, exactly the same direction, as opposed to me being like this, or as opposed to me being like this. Those are crooked. This is parallel, and that's what we want. And then we're teaching him that if I lead with my outside foot, and this gets kind of complicated, but I think you'll be glad if you pick up on it and catch along. Outside foot is my foot furthest from him. In this case, it's my left foot. So if I lead with my left foot, he's supposed to stay put in whatever position he was in last. So if he was sitting right now, I would ask that he'd hold that sit. And in this case, we're just hoping, and he did, good boy, just hold that down position. So we want to practice that. Outside foot, they stay put. That's my rhyme. Good. Good boy. And then when we lead with that inside foot, and because he heels on the right, the inside foot is the foot closest to him, and therefore that's my right foot. I'm also going to go ahead and, for now at least, give the verbal command, heel. Come on. Good boy. And he should get up and fall into that position. So the heel command is the one that we give to let him know that he needs to stay in that heel position. And as he's in that position, he should stay in that position no matter where I go or how fast. Good boy. Good. Or even how slow. Good. I go. And that's what I want you guys to practice, is just, changing your speed and changing your direction. So here I'm going to do an about turn. Good. And I'm going to fall into a little figure 8 pattern between these cones. Good. And you see that he's staying in that heel position literally every step of the way for me. And that's exactly what we want him to do. And by doing so, he's demonstrating this idea that subtly but powerfully, he's becoming a leader, or we're becoming a leader in his mind. Sit. Here you go, big guy. That's a good boy. And we're becoming the leader, and he's becoming a follower. And that's what training is really all about. So we need a dog that trusts us. And I know that Marlo is pretty good at trusting at least you guys as his family, and starting to learn to really trust me as well. So trust, I don't think, is an issue for him at all. I really feel like, if he's struggling, it's struggling with respect. He's a big, strong, dominant dog, and he likes to have his way. And he's, kind of been used to literally kind of pushing his weight around for a while. And so we're trying to help him with that, understanding subtly right now that we're the leader. Let's see if we can get him to lay down again. Thought about it. Sit. Sit. Good. Let's see if we can help him. Down. The down hand signal is above his head. Usually I could lower my arm, but in his case, down. He's so tall. I mean, you know, I can just reach down and give him a kiss. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and step gently on the leash, down, and see if I can just let him guide his way down there. If I push too fast too soon, I can promise you that he'll push back and he won't go. Here we're just waiting, and I'm just going to slowly step up a higher bit on the leash, down. Thought about it, down. And here I'm just leaning. I'm not pushing too hard. If you push too hard, the rule is if they push back, if in doubt, heel it out. We'll just go, here he goes. Good, down. Oh, what a good dog. Wow. Well, I'm glad you guys are here to see that. That's the first time in 4 days of training that he's allowed me to help him to the ground. So that's very encouraging. I feel like I should just wrap up the video right there with that. I'm very happy with that, and I was able to show you the technique. Now, don't want you guys to work with that. Please don't even try. I don't want you to mess it up, honestly. It takes a lot of practice to know what to do when. If you go too fast, if you go too hard, they rebel, and it can make it worse than if you even tried it in the first place. But do help me by, for now, at least throwing in that word down as you see him laying down on his own. And I promise we'll get him doing it consistently, and then I'll show you the techniques and you'll get him doing it consistently even without a treat or anything. But for now at least, don't try the technique that I just did. Instead, practice the heel that we're showing you, and the sit that we showed you, and the walking that we showed you. And the last thing I want to show you a little bit with him is something else that you guys have expressed a great deal of concern and frustration with, that he won't come when called. And so once again, we're going to rely on a little technology for that, and I've loaned you guys one of our remote training collars to see how that's going to work for you. And I know that we're helping him with his barking. Marlo has a big voice, and he likes to use it and scare the neighbor folk, I guess, as they're walking past your window and things like that. So we talked to you about how we can curb some of that barking at what we consider normal things, and that I want you to continue. But we're also going to show you one thing to use with the remote, and I've been practicing with that today. So I'm going to give him the release word, okay. And we're going to show you how we're going to use this remote for help with the come command. So come is, the thing that everybody wants their dog to do, but it's one of the hardest things to get a dog to do until they're really well trained, because you're thinking about a dog that's at a distance away from you, and probably when you call them, it's because they're doing something they're not supposed to be doing, or you need them to get to where you want them to be instead of where they want to be. And so a lot of times a dog will play games with you. And I know that you said, Marlo has a tendency to try to hide behind the shed when you're calling him in your yard, and he just lays there, and then when you try to get out to actually physically get a hold of him, he takes off on you. And that's all because he knows that he's faster and more agile than us, and we can't catch him. So what I've been doing is showing him with the remote that I can catch him, even at a distance. I'm using just this vibration button that I showed you guys the other day. And the idea is if I push this vibration button after he doesn't come, it gets his attention, and then I'll release it and call him. So right now I'm just going to kind of back away from him and see if I can even get him far enough away to where I can call him. He's kind of following me as he's supposed to, I guess. Good boy. Yeah, I guess you can't call a dog that won't get away from you. So I just talked to you through it. He's doing perfect. I can't yell at him about this. I mean, I can't call a dog that's so close to me. But what I want you to do, and I've been trying it, throughout the day, is start off in your own house. Not when he's outside, not when he's really involved in something, but start off in your own house. Have your button in hand, have your vibration button ready to go. I try to hide this from the dog. I don't want them to see that I even have it, and that way I don't have to always have it. But you're just going to call him. If he doesn't come, what I want you to do is say the word no. So you're going to start off by saying, Marlo, come. And if he doesn't come, first question is, could he hear you? And if he physically was able to hear you and just wasn't listening, then I want you to say the word no. And at the same time you say the word no, I want you to press that vibration button. That's a single button opposite of the red button. Push that vibration button, hold it long enough to where he looks at you. And then I want you to back up like 3 steps. Come. And by backing up, it draws them like a magnet. Make sure, sit. Attaboy. Good job, Marlo. Thanks for the shake, big guy. Okay. They're not finished with the come command until they sit, just like they're not finished with the heel command until they sit. And we talked about this in your private lesson as well, and I really want you guys to work on these things because these are the foundation things that are so important to get a dog that's consistent off leash or on leash down the road. So I'm picturing Marlo a year from now. This is the foundation that we have to lay together, and we all have to practice hard to make this work so that you can have the best dog ever. And I think he can be the best dog ever. He's a great guy. He's beautiful to look at and really a lot of fun to have around. We're just getting to know him a little bit. And so I want you to practice these things. And we're going to have you schedule one more of the daycare days so that I can practice some more of these things. And then we're going to have you guys come back for another one of your private lessons. Or maybe I'll even come to your home and we'll do the private lesson there. We'll figure that out as we get through this next daycare day. So this is the first of 2 videos for you guys. We're about the halfway mark. We'll make another video when we get near the tail end, pardon the pun, the tail end of his program. And then you'll get that second video as well. So if you have any questions, as always, reach out to us. But if not, we wish you happy training. Okay, good boy.